What's up, everybody? This is your boy Montre, and I just wanted to just take a break from all the esoteric talking and all the spiritual talks to just talk about what's kind of going on in the mundane life. And I know that kind of sometimes it's a little bit boring, but it does affect my life personally. So I feel the need to talk about it. Recently, I saw a video, and I'll post a link to that of Brendan Ian Ian Vinjao. I'm not really keen with sports, but he's a football player, pro football player, and a very big LGBT advocate. And he was talking about how there are many gay men in pro football. There was like, will we ever see a gay man or an out gay man in pro football come out? And he was like, they're already there. Gay men are already in pro football. It's just that they're not comfortable with coming out yet, or we don't see them. And that's just the world we live in. And I think we have all these stereotypes of what gay or straight is, what masculine or feminine is, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. In our society, in American society, because American society, for one, is quite different from the rest of the world. But I think we're also, as Americans, we evolve very quickly because there's so many of us, lumped together. So we are kind of forced to communicate because we have so many differences. Um, with that being said, when it comes to uh, I guess, the secrecy of sexuality in our country, the secrecy or the taboo of sexuality, especially with male sexuality in our country. I just feel the need to talk about it because even I had a coworker and he was like, he didn't know what download means. And I explained to him that download is a term that black men use who are in the closet. And there's a few of them that are in the closet because even in the black race, sexuality is very taboo because black people are very religious, very Christian, and many don't accept homosexuality or bisexuality or any type of sexuality other than hetero. So it becomes a problem. So those who may be Christian or have or been raised in Christian homes will be more apt to be in the closet than be open. So we have the same issue with the majority of gay men in society, or not even just gay men, bisexual men. Well, I put out the term that there's a lot of people who could be bisexual or gay, or fully gay, who may not totally feel comfortable with coming out of the closet because they may not relate to the gay community in some aspect or form. Uh, and that's fine because it's just your sexuality. It doesn't mean that you have to go on a movement or you have to go on a political rant because you were born a certain way. Just because you were born a certain way doesn't mean that you have to take a political stance against something. But when the world is combating you because of your sexuality, you would think you'd be more apt to do something about it. With that being said, there's a lot, trust me, there's a lot of, and I'm going to admit it, bisexual women. People say bisexuality doesn't exist. They will say it exists with women, but they don't want to admit that bisexuality exists with men. There's a lot of men who are bisexual, and they are in heterosexual relationships. So that's the key point. Bisexual men are hated on in the gay community, and bisexual men are hated on in the heterosexual community. Nobody likes bisexual men. Everybody loves bisexual women. So it is not to the benefit of any bisexual man to be out about his bisexuality, especially if he lives in a heterosexual world. Even like technically I'm bisexual. I've dated women. I don't have a problem with women. It's just that they get on my nerves sometimes. So I prefer to date men. Um, so when people ask me gay, yeah, I'll say gay. Yeah, great, wonderful. Because gay is not really a sexual orientation. Gay is basically the lifestyle. homosexuality is a sexual orientation. So if somebody asks me if I'm homosexual, I say no, I'm bisexual. But if you say I'm gay, I'm like sure, whatever. So semantics. Anywho, I think the same goes with a lot of guys who may be in heterosexual relationships, but may have a bisexual orientation. They may be attracted to both sexes, but they won't be open about it because the heterosexual community is not open to it. The homosexual community is not open to it. And in a dog eat dog world, when you're a man trying to survive, your only goal is to make money, is to not only be a man, but to be respected, to make money, to keep a job. So you're not going to do anything that's going to bring detriment to that. Not that I'm justifying being in the closet or justifying being on the DL. It's just that society is creating gay men and bisexual men in the closet until society can get to a point where we accept everybody, men and women, for their sexuality, no matter who they like, and we don't demean them, and we don't call them names, and we don't fire them or make them lose their job because of their sexuality. Because that's the problem in the NFL now. Many guys in the NFL are afraid to come out of the closet because they're afraid they're going to lose their job. They're afraid they're going to lose sponsorships, all that type of thing. There are no equal protections for LGBT people. And until people start realizing there are no special protections for LGBT, we've got states right now taking away protections for LGBT people. So you cannot tell me, yes, we have protections for everybody. No, we don't, because there are still states in this country that will fire you or feel the need to fire you for religious reasons because they don't agree with your sexuality or your sexual orientation. So, I just felt the need to just rant about that real quick. And that, yes, there are many, many bisexual men out there. Trust me, I've had guys tell me that they're bisexual. I've had men tell me that they like other guys and they've been married or had girlfriends and they just didn't feel comfortable with being out of the closet. There's been tons of men, young, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. It doesn't matter. There's a lot of guy will tell you when he's drinking a couple of beers and he feels really cool with you. So I think as a society, it's not that we should do a witch hunt, but we need to start changing our own mindset and start letting and allowing men to be comfortable in their sexuality and stop putting all these stigmas on what we think men should be and how men should act, and this makes a man and this doesn't make a man, and blah blah blah. Because who really knows how to be a man other than a man? All right, give me your comments on that. I'm really interested in what you think about that, because if you don't do it, then who will?